Good evening and welcome to Supreme Week 3 of Livestream from SwiftSole. We're going to go into some stuff today. Obviously, we're going to be looking at task setup. We're going to be looking at what items are dropping this week. And unfortunately, as most of you know, it's not that much of a profitable week. So we're going to be using this as a kind of test week, especially on SwiftSole's end. And I've got like a small announcement to make on behalf of SwiftSole as we do. But before we do that, let me know in the comments, how did you guys do? Listen. Don't ask me what you should do if you didn't get an email, all right? If you hit dunks manually, if you hit dunks with a bot on restocks, whatever it was, I have no clue. Who knows what Supreme's doing? But let me give you one tip. Never email Supreme, because I'm telling you, they will cancel you straight away. If you waste their time, because that's what they see it as, they will cancel you straight away. For me, I hit 2. One of the charges have dropped. One of them is still there, and I'm still waiting for any form of shipping. However, if your charge has dropped, it's not necessarily an L. It's not necessarily done. What Supreme does with their merchants, and this is generally down to your bank, after around 5 to 7 days, the authorization of the charge will drop. But if Supreme fulfills the order, they will recharge the card and recharge the account. So don't lose faith yet. It may be an L, but there's a lot of people waiting for shipping. There's a lot of people with pairs. I also know some people that haven't had shipping from week 1 yet, even though they've got all of the confirmations. So look, just hold fire for now. But again, I don't know. I'm not Supreme, unfortunately. I just don't know, all right? So first and foremost, but again, lastly, don't email Supreme. That's probably one of my biggest tips for today. Do not ever email Supreme. So look, for the past 2 drops, we all know that there have been some issues on Supreme's changing a lot of stuff. Anti-bot measures, they're adding in these weird steps that we saw just on the dunks. So basically, for those that don't know, once you added the dunks to cart, you had to press confirm and then go to checkout. That little step of confirm, no bots were ready for. There was only a couple of bots that were able to adapt and push out a fix quick enough. Not only that, but the mobile site against the normal site or the desktop site is totally different. And what happened in the EU on the last drop of Nike, the 3DS processor was down at most of the drop anyway. So even some people that were getting through manually on the phone couldn't check out. They couldn't actually submit credit card details. So look, SwiftSole understands that in the last couple of weeks, it has been a bit disappointing in regards to the performance. So what SwiftSole has decided to do is, for now, stop anyone from purchasing this bot currently, so no new users can come, so that they can make tweaks, they can do some testing. They think they found the issue. So have faith in the devs. I have very much faith in Swift. But he thinks he's found the issue, but we need to test this week. And luckily, it's not that much of a hype drop. Even though there is some profitable items that we are going to go through, it's not that hyped. So it's a good time to test the theory just to see what's going on. And I'd recommend still running if you can, going for some lunch money pieces, because the more data we can give to SwiftSole, the better it's going to be for them to try and combat all of these changes that Supreme is doing. And let me just state, right, this isn't just SwiftSole. You look across all bots, and every bot at the moment is having an issue. It's a struggle with Supreme. So my hat goes off to every single dev out there. And look, carry on doing your work. You're doing it for us, so keep it pushing, and we respect it 100%. It's hard to be a dev and understanding all these changes, especially when you can only do it at drop time. Like, that's a very small window to see and then try and push an update. So hats off to the guys for that. But look, don't lose faith just yet. We will come back. It happens all the time. The first couple of weeks of Supreme is always hard. Always hard, and we always know that. Anyway, let's see how we're going on. There won't be a jumper giveaway this week, but don't worry, something may come. And who knows, AF1 might restock this week as well. We'll go into that in a second. Had some issues pulling. It did have some issues pulling some stock. We understand that. Don't worry. Bugs are getting sorted as we speak. Does Supreme enable PayPal hold? I think they did. Don't know. Couldn't tell you on that one. The more people get Swift makes it harder for everyone else to hit. Listen, a lot of bots out there have got big user bases. You'll still be able to hit if your setup's correctly and you do what we advise you to do. But again, as I said, SwiftSole is currently stopping anyone new purchasing the bot so they can iron out the kinks, and they think they found the issue. But fingers crossed, we believe in Swift. It's as simple as that. Anyway, we have also got a counter. We've put on another screen for me. How many times I have to say you can only hit one item with your profile? It's one item per profile. All right? And we're going to count that. Not only that, but don't ask me if you can hit Foot Locker with SwiftSole. That's become a meme now, thanks. But someone asked me whether they can run for Foot Locker. I don't think it's going to happen, and it's not going to happen tomorrow neither. All right? But it's all a good laugh. All right, so let's go into this week's drop. Let's take a look at what's profitable, what's not. Again, it's not the most hyped of drops, but there is some stuff to go for. There's some stuff that I'm definitely going to be running for. So, Mr. Producer, please put the phone up onto the screen. That will be great. All right, so first and foremost, before opening up Swift, please do ensure that you have downloaded the updated version. Go to test flight. Most of the time, the app does it automatically. So when you open it, you just kind of press next, start testing. Then you go into this screen. But if you don't see that and it shows in test flight that there's an update, make sure that you do update. So we recommend going for the pre-made tasks, and you do that by clicking that plus button that you've seen in the middle of my screen there. And from there, we go into creating a task. And here what we've given you just down in a list is basically all the items that are dropping, the retails, and also the resale or predicted resale from our end. So as you know, it is, of course, the Nike Supreme collaboration. Now, usually this is quite hyped. There has been some good profitable drops before, but in the last couple of seasons, when Nike and Supreme have collabed, I honestly don't know what their thinking has been. However, when you look at a lot of the stuff like coats and jackets, over time they do start to rise depending on what drops the next season. So it wasn't last season, but the one before, we saw that coat now starting to rise because last season was trash. This season, I wouldn't class as trash. It's just a bit underwhelming. That's all I can probably say. However, a lot of people are actually liking this collaboration because it's very subtle. There is some questionable branding on it, but we'll go into that in a second. So first and foremost, you've got the neck warmer. Of course, we've got Rona going around everywhere. So this might be an okay cop. It's a very low retail. So if you're going to test anything, it's quite an easy one to test. And it is quite a cool piece. For me, I ride a motorbike. This would be perfect for me in the winter, putting it over, looking like a hype beast. Simple. So we're looking at about 35 quid retail, £50 resale. Best colour in that way is probably the black, in all honesty. You have got a kind of summer colour in that cream, but it's a bit too lemony and a bit too yellow for it to actually be cream, in all honesty. But I would say your black, your blue, your red is the main colours there. A lot of people are liking the cream, but not for me. I mean, who asked for a belt of snakeskin? No thanks. This one's a weird one, and this is the Mophie Power Station. They come out of a Mophie Power Station every single season. Sometimes it has resale, sometimes it don't. All depends. This is quite clean. Not only that, this one is a wireless charger as well, so it will work with a load of different technology. Some people may like it, in all honesty, but it's not a big profit, all right? You might want it for personal, but for $140, it's not for me. Purple boxes, everyone's checking those out the day before for testing, aren't they? 6-panel cap, retail. That spray canvas cap, retail. I quite like the black one, but I don't really wear caps. It's not for me. The logo beanie. Now, the logo beanie is an inside-out one as well. So you can see in the background, it's got the kind of all the different logos on it. When actually it does go inside out and it's only got, I think, no logos, no monograms around, and it's quite a clean piece. But we are moving out of winter. That's the thing, especially here in the UK. So I don't know. I don't think it's a big hit, but maybe for personal, if that's what you want. Snakeskin beanie here, again, same thing. I really like these corduroy hats, by the way. I really like them. I like the thick cord. They've got the classic logo on the bucket hat. On the one that they usually bring out, that beanie that they restock quite often. I actually quite like that bucket hat, the Crusher. I call it a bucket hat because I'm old. But the Crusher hat's actually pretty cool. Again, though, it's not resale. There's not much resale here. There is a bit of a weird item this season, which we will go into in a second, but there is a bit of a weird one. No. Jacket, no thank you. So this is probably one of the most hyped items of this season, it's definitely not of this season, of this drop, the brick drop, should we call it? And that is, of course, the Nike puffer jacket. Now, the Nike Supreme puffer jacket is very clean branding. It's got a very small logo like that, the normal Nike logo on the bottom right of like the butt area, which is a bit weird. It's in like a snake skin kind of thing, but Supreme on the neck, just Nike there. It's quite clean, as in it's a clean piece. It's a classic piece. It won't kind of go out of fashion. It's not too weird. It's quite safe. So for some people, if they're looking for, say, a puffer jacket, it kind of looks a bit like a Nocta type vibe, in all honesty. It's got like a load of logos going around, like monochrome, but it's really subtle. You can't really see all of the logos. But I quite like this piece. I quite like it for personal. You can reverse it as well. So basically it's plain on one side and then the monochrome on the other side. So that Supreme that you see inside of the neck, basically, that you see there. When you reverse it, it will have it on the outside and then there'll be like monochrome all around. Like it's not a bad piece, in all honesty. The retail is looking pretty cool. I thought it was going to be above the $300 mark, like the $350 mark. So it coming out at $260, $258. I think that's not a bad shout to potentially go for. Now remember, the best sizes are always small, XL, large, and then medium. So small and XL are the first ones to sell out. Then large, then medium. Luckily, your boy is a medium, so I can generally hit it pretty often, which is quite cool for me. Then we go down to the velour jackets and tracksuits. You know, if you're quite an old school head with Nike, this is something that you may like, something that you may think to wear, especially for personal. So again, there is a bit of resale on this, maybe $50 for each piece. Might be an idea to potentially go for that. All depends on your styling. It depends on maybe if you want to try and flip it. All of these are quick flips, yeah, in my opinion. I don't think you sit on these. Maybe the jacket you sit on, potentially, but I wouldn't risk it. I would try and get a buyer quick. There's no point in holding for an extra $20 to $30 profit. It's as simple as that. We've done the velour. There's a cotton twill shirt, but whatever, just you can get that from anywhere, really. Then we go on to this item, which is obviously the Air Force Ones. We don't know if they will restock. They are rumoured to restock. Someone's been asking me, are Air Force One going to restock? The the producers actually got something for me for that to bring up onto the screen so that I can figure out whether or not it is going to restock. And there it is, my crystal ball. So what I'll do is I'll look directly into my crystal ball and I'll tell you whether or not Air Force Ones are restocking. So anytime someone asks me something that I cannot answer, we're going to bring out the crystal ball, all right? Then this is the bit of a weird one. So this is now an unseen skate deck. This could go one of two ways. This could be Supreme trolling us, making us go for an item because they know it's not a hype week, so everyone buys it. Or it could literally be a fire piece. I'm not convinced with skate decks at the moment. It used to be a thing maybe 1 to 2 years ago where people put loads of skate decks on their wall. But it's kind of been done now. Not many people are doing it anymore because everyone's doing it, if that makes sense. But for the retail, I'm going to go for it because I like a good gamble. So why would I not go for it? So maybe you go for the skate deck. Again, try and get a buyer in mind if you can. Try and find a skate deck collector. But who knows? Could be fire. And then we go on to the skate stuff. Hooded shirt, personal again. Half zip hooded sweatshirt may have a bit of resale. I wish they just done either a full zip or just a pullover. I'm not a fan of half zips at all personally. I just wish they done one of those two. Like just commit. Cut logo SS top. Not much resale at all or none. I mean that is horrendous. That's horrific, by the way, Supreme. Who puts an American flag like that and absolutely butchers it on a top? It is disgusting. And then that's weird half-tone long sleeve. The colours are just off and yeah, whatever. So look, my advice for this drop is mainly going to be the jackets, the skate deck as a gamble, and of course loading profiles for the Air Force One. And on that, we are going to look at profiles on Profile Creator. So we're going to do profiles and then come back to do task setup because I need the profile in there to do the task setup. So give me 1 second. Producer, if you don't mind taking the phone off just for a sec so that I don't dox my information, that'd be great. There we go. Give me a second. Right. Let's see if we can do something we've never been able to do on this stream. Thank you, producer. You can bring that back up now. So, listen to me carefully, guys. Everything in this profile must be unique. It must be a unique billing profile. Whether that is your name, your address, your email, your card. They must all be unique For instance, if you change your name on one profile, it doesn't mean you can use the exact same address or the exact same card. This is Supreme's end. They stop people buying multiples. This includes multiple items that are the same but a different color. For instance, I make profile number 1 and I go for the blue jacket. I then try and go for the black jacket on profile number 1. Guess what? It's not a unique profile because it's the same item, even though it's the same color. Don't argue with me. That's Supreme's logic, not mine. So what you need to do is you need to change up your profile, also known as jigging a profile. All right. So let me give you a example. So let's say this was josh@gmail.com. What you now need to do is have a totally separate email for the next profile. These emails must be, I would recommend that they are actually real emails. Don't just do a random one, okay? Now, let's say, for instance, we were also doing an address, and I'll show you a couple of ways to jig an address. So let's say I lived at 1 Buckingham Palace. I live at number 2 Buckingham Palace, but hey-ho. 1 Buckingham Palace. The way we change that is we could put a space in between Bucking and Ham. That can sometimes be enough, but I'd usually change it about a bit. Then I would just move that and do PLC. 1 Buckingham PLC. Also, if you live in a house, yeah, what you can do as well is do 1A Buckingham Palace or 1A Buckingham P dot. Then with road, you can do ROAD or RD, yeah? So you could just start changing it around. Now, of course, if you live in a flat or an apartment, make sure you're not just sending it to a neighbour without the neighbour knowing. I mean, the best thing to do is maybe to talk to a neighbour and try and, buy them a bottle of wine or some food every now and then and get pally with them so you can start sending packages there. That's the best way of doing it. Phone number must be unique. Yeah? Again, I wouldn't recommend just making up a random phone number. The reason why, and look, the odds of this happening, by the way, is very, very small. But let's say I make up a random phone number that I don't know who it belongs to, and one of you guys have that phone number, and then when I go to check out, you've already checked out, it will block me and say you've already tried to check out on that phone number. It won't tell me it's the phone number. It will just say a duplicate entry has tried to be made. That is a very small chance of it happening. Of course it is. But just don't leave it to that. Knowing my luck, that would happen. So that's why I just don't, I make sure it's a real number. I just use my mate's number. Supreme's never calling it, by the way. They can hardly ship, let alone call you to see how you're doing. All right? Then your card must be unique as well. Now, in the UK, generally speaking, Revolut, Monzo, Curve, Soldo can sometimes work if you've got the right wallet. Forget Soldo. Curve, Monzo, and Revolut generally do okay. Your normal bank cards are not going to be the best. The reason why is because when you try and purchase an item sometimes with, say, Nationwide, etc., we'll go through US in a second, Nationwide, etc., it will prompt you for 3DS and it'll ask you or text you a code. There's no way of getting around that through most bots, any bot. You need to have cards and billing profiles where you can confirm 3DS inside of an app, not via a text or a code or all weirdness like that. Now, the US is slightly different. You guys don't have 3DS. So as long as you've got cards that don't have 3DS, then you're all good. Some people have reported that privacy does not work on Supreme anymore, so I recommend not running privacy. But Amex, your high street banks, I believe Citi does well, Capital One, Eno, things like that, they generally do okay. All right? So again, it's one item per profile. I've said that twice, I think, so far. But we won't, I don't think we'll count it. We'll put it 1 because I've done that rather than people asking. Yes, that's fair. That's fair. Let's see how many times we can say it. All right, cool. So let's say we've made a profile. Dox myself. Happens all the time. So we go on to say a task. So want to create a task. We use our pre-made ones. So let's say I want to go for this hideous. No, let's not use a hideous belt. Let's use something actually accurate. Let's go for the Nike jacket. So I click on the Nike jacket. So first and foremost, quantity. Remember what I said. 1 per person. So we're only going to go for 1. It's just sometimes Supreme will release stuff like they did with deck chairs, and I think they did it with Oreos in the US, where you could go for, say, 3 of the same item. So if SwiftSole tell you you can get more than one, that's when you can try and change the quantity if you want to try. Then we go for size. You can go for a random size. Generally speaking, small, medium, large, and XL are the sizes. Now and then, Supreme may drop double XL. But don't just put that in if you don't know. Again, refer to SwiftSole's guidance if needed on that. Color, you can go for random if you want, or you can pick a color. Now, just remember that these colors are not confirmed until after the EU drop. For instance, sometimes Supreme may call it purple, or we may think it's purple, but Supreme call it a dark blue, or a green, or a pine. Like, the EU is generally the test bunny in regards to the keywords, and then they will be updated for the US drop. So if you're worried that black may not be black, which I'm sure it is, go for maybe a random color. And then you know at least you're going to get it onto something, all right? Profile, you use whatever profile that you've made, all right, for that item. Now, Capture Harvester. If you are premium, you've got 2 options. Capture Harvester is when you have it actually on the bot on drop time. So you're going to manually do captures, or maybe not, if the case may be, and I'll explain that in a second. But you're going to bring captures to the app. Or what you might do is do what I do, and I use something called AYCD. AYCD is a third-party service where you buy, purchase, and you link it in to SwiftSole. And what happens is, as long as you've got 1 clicks, and I'll explain what that is in a second, but as long as you've got 1 clicks, then basically that will push it to the app and you haven't got to do anything. It will go to checkout, all right? And it's as fast, if not far, it's faster than a human. Now, if you've never used AYCD before or you're confused with it, I wouldn't recommend you download it today and try and sort it out for tomorrow. Do that with like a week in advance. Not only that, but you're going to need to bring your Gmails into there, make sure they've got 1 clicks. It's a big old thing to do, all right? Just understand that. It's not as simple as just plug play. It will auto-solve everything for you. We have down in the description got the AYCD guide, so please do refer to that if you want more information. And again, this is only open to premium members. Only open to premium members, all right? So let's say you wasn't using AYCD, you'd just go for Capture Harvester, so that's what I'm going to do. Then from there, modes. For the EU, only use drop mode. And then when, obviously, US drops, go for drop mode then as well. Now, on that, I usually go for a manual time, but you can custom the time if you want and put it on a timer. Generally speaking, we recommend 30 seconds to a minute before is when you start tasks. You can go for a minute if you want, just to be on the safe side, and at least then if Supreme does drop early, you're ready to roll. And it also gets SwiftSole kind of going and warmed up is how I like to put it. As simple as that. So let's say I'm going to make this task. Let's just make that. Task was created. I'm going to make quickly another task as well to show you multi-cart. That'll do. So I've got it on something called compact view. If you want, you can go into Swift in the settings and you can turn off compact view, compact mode there. And then what you'll see is this, where it gives you all the details that you put in. Now I've used Soldo3, which is my account for this, for 2 tasks. And I can do that because if you have a look, the items are different. Yeah. But if you've got more than a couple of tasks, I recommend basically keeping it compact. You don't really need to see the details once you've added it in. So this is now my task list. This is ready to roll. We recommend only running around 8 tasks for SwiftSole. Just for the simple fact that it is going to drain your resources. I have sometimes pushed that and run 10, and I've found it's been okay. My phone does start to get a bit hot. But that I've got an iPhone 12 Pro Max, so it's a very good processor in there. We just recommend not going above 8. If you do, test it at your own risk, all right? The app can become unstable and it could crash because it's going to be resource intensive. Then when you're ready to roll, you press plus and you start. And of course, what's going to happen right now is nothing is going to pick up. It's waiting for the item. This is what you want to see. Then what will happen on those grey bars, a loading kind of progress bar will come to say item found, add into cart, checking out, awaiting capture. Now, what you want to have open is your Capture Harvester. So now what will happen down in that little box is captures will appear if they're pushed to the app. So capture is basically an invisible checkpoint where if Supreme deems that you have got a trusted score, that you're not a bot, even though we are, but if you're not a bot, it will allow you just to go straight to checkout. If it assumes you are, and the way it does that is by a risk rating or by a trust rating. If you're using a Gmail and logged into it on, say, Google Chrome, and you're watching YouTube, you are surfing the internet, you're buying stuff, Google knows that is generally, I'm going to stop this before I get myself clipped. Google knows that is generally going to be a human's action. And AYCD does this for you. It does something called farming Gmails or training Gmails, where you can leave it running and it will basically try and increase your score of your capture score or your trust score, shall we say. So what you want to make sure that you also do is basically add a Gmail. So that button there will allow you to go to a Gmail login, log into a Gmail, and then come out of it. You haven't got to do anything else. Then if you've got a trusted score, then you can, hopefully, when it comes, you won't even see any captures. It will just automatically fly through for you. All right. And then the last thing is a multi-cart. So what you can do, and this week you can actually test it because it's not a hype week. Things will sell out. Most stuff will sell out, especially the Nike collaboration, because people have got nothing else to do and nothing else to go for. So they're going to go for this. But what you can actually do is you can have a multi-cart where you save on shipping. We don't recommend you do this on big hype items simply because you don't want to save $5 or $10 on shipping and risk losing the item, because it is going to take longer for SwiftSole to take 2 items, put them into one cart. It's got to find the other one cart. It's going to take a bit longer. But what you can do in this point, is go on to multi-cart. And again, you need to have premium in order to do this. You just hold on to one and you drag it to the other. That has now become one cart. You can see I've only got one cart there, whereas I had 2 before. And that cart's called MMW. That doesn't mean anything to you. You don't need to worry about that. But now Supreme is going to try and get those in one go, in one cart, on one transaction. All right? Simple. So, go to your billing profiles. Create those. Make sure they're unique. Then come over to your task list. Create those tasks. Make sure you sign in to your Gmail. Have a capture harvester open. We don't recommend having more than 8 tasks. If you want to push that, that's up to you, but we don't recommend that. Start it around a minute before. Use the timer, or start it yourself and be ready for capture when needed. Or link your AYCD if you're an advanced person and you know exactly what you're doing with AYCD. That is also an option. Cool. I think I've done everything there. Nice. Don't touch the delays. That's it. Don't touch the delays. Let that be sorted on SwiftSole end. Let that be sorted. Let me just make sure in case SwiftSole sent anything to me to tell me no, that's wrong. Cool. So far, we are good. We're doing all right. All right. So let's now. Oh my God. Some of the questions. We're going to, this count is going to go up, by the way. All right, let's go on to some questions. I'm only joking. Listen, no question is a stupid question. I promise you. You can ask any question you want. I'm not going to troll you. I might a tiny bit, but honestly, this is the time to ask these questions. Yeah, don't worry. Because for some of you, this might be your first stream. Okay. So please don't worry. I'd rather you ask the questions that you think are stupid and hit tomorrow than not ask and not hit. And then at me in general chat saying, Josh, you told me I was going to hit because it's a non-hype week, and I didn't. So anyway, let's pull out some questions. Producer, if you don't mind doing that for me, that would be great. And it's good because the producer has SwiftSole, and he's kind of only started to use it. So he'll probably pull out questions that he thinks beginners would usually ask. Hopefully. Maybe. Who knows? He might be advanced. He's probably better than me, to be fair. Will XXL jackets drop? I don't know. So, yeah, there we go. Will they give XXL on the puffer? I don't know. I'm unsure of that personally. Just check on the SwiftSole guide. I haven't actually checked on XXL yet. Might be a risk. You may want to put a task for XXL and XL. But, yeah. Bot struggled on add to cart on the last 2 drops. Okay, well, there we go. If SwiftSole struggled on XXL, don't go for it. So I can't put 2 different items per profile. That goes on the counter. Yeah, you can. 2 different items can be the same profile. Just not the same item. Make sense? Cool. Can I use a virtual card? Depends on the virtual card. Last time I got checkout error, but all my info was correct, including my CC info. So that could be a processing error. That could be a high traffic error. That could be bot handling. That could be Supreme just rejecting your details because they know you're a bot, anti-bot. That's literally it. So when you get checkout error, that is a blanket term for it didn't work this time, or that task did not work for a number of reasons. If I want to gamble on AF1, should I run restock or drop mode? Drop mode on AF1s. Run for drop mode, not restock mode. What should I do if I emailed Supreme about the dunks? Is it a guaranteed L? I think I need my crystal ball, please, producer. Someone's asked me, yeah, what they should do. Let me just look. I don't know. In all honesty, and I'm only joking with you guys, but I wouldn't recommend emailing Supreme at any point. Like, never email Supreme. And that is usually a guaranteed L. What do you think is the best item this week? I think the jackets. And then I'd say the skateboard, just because it's a mystery. And we're gamblers, come on. Whoa, he's shouting. Tommy's shouting at me, everyone. Tommy is shouting at me. Can I use virtual cards? Yes, depends on the virtual cards. Again, for the UK, Monzo Revolut Curve is generally okay. For the US, don't use privacy cards. Generally speaking, privacy cards don't work on Supreme. Josh, I ran Palace on Swift. Oh, God, Charlie. Charlie's trolling. Charlie, mate, I tell you what, I invite you to come down and do this live stream with me, mate, and you'll see what happens. If I added Gmail last week to the capture, do you need to add it again this week? No, you don't. You don't. It would already be saved within the bot. Do you use iCard? I've never used iCard, personally. I've never used it. I found it really suspect trying to use iCard when they called me up and it was like someone in their front room asking me for my details. I didn't have it. How long can you safely run on background before your info may get flagged? I've ran for a long period of time before. I'm talking like half an hour, 45 minutes, and it didn't get flagged. Or if it did, I didn't know. So, yeah. I would recommend you run on Wi-Fi because the ping time's better. What platform do you personally sell on and find buyers? For Supreme, generally speaking, Facebook groups is usually best. However, I have found constant buyers on places like eBay, where they've bought one thing, then we've got into a conversation because I'm not rude to them, and then we've built a relationship, and now we chat ongoingly through WhatsApp or whatever, and they tell me what they want. What should you do if you get checkout error? Cry. Swim in the tears that you've now produced. Start your task again, see what happens. Rewatch the live. He answers 95% of these questions. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Matt. I said something today. I said release guides are like the Bible. Only referenced, never read. That's a banger quote. Drop mode or restock mode? Drop mode. Drop mode. We need a counter for this. Drop mode. Always drop mode. Even the AF1s. Fine, someone asked about the AF1s, yeah. Drop mode. Because they'll drop it. Are high street banks such as Lloyd's okay? I don't know. It depends. Sometimes they are. In my testing, I've found some debit cards to work. For instance, HSBC debit cards, but their credit cards don't. It seems to me that some Visa debit cards, if you're purchasing from the same store ongoingly, will just allow it and fly through if your billing profile is on point. So HSBC will look at a number of things, and they'll look at your postcode, your name, and door number. If you've changed any of those, you're more than likely going to get a 3DS request. But I found that when my debit card information is on point to everything that's registered at the bank, I've actually got through on debit card. I got dunks on debit card last week. Where do I get SwiftSole? Unfortunately, we've actually stopped purchases of SwiftSole at the moment for the simple fact, and we're going to be totally honest, for the last couple of weeks, we haven't done the greatest, but that is because of Supreme's anti-bot. But Swift and the devs are working very hard in the background. Trust me, they work so hard for you guys. In the background, they think they found the issue, but we don't know until tomorrow's drop. We just don't know. If I keep tasks on to catch a restock, would I have a higher chance of account bans? You won't get account bans. I've never really heard too much of an account ban. You might get an IP flag. Most of the time, though, this is a soft ban. What happens if you request a website too many times, you then get like an error 403 or something like that. That won't last forever. But yeah, you have got a higher chance of getting that. I'm taking credit for the counter, LB. Thank you, Stuart. You can. That was your idea, Stuart. Thank you, sir. Do you have to add multiple Gmails? Nope, just one is fine. OKM is shouting at me again. Is there a way to get virtual cards for people under 18 in the UK? Not legally, no. And I don't recommend doing it. Can I have two tasks of the same thing for e.g. 2 night jackets with different? That's got to be a counter. That has to be. So, I may not have explained this correctly. And again, it's only a joke. We got 4 so far. If it's the same item, the billing profile has got to be totally unique. Totally unique. If you can change your billing profile up with a different card, different email, your address has been changed, you can go for the same item for multiple. If the profile is totally different. Yeah? Hopefully that helps. I'll probably say it again soon. When does... SwiftSole, I don't know what to say. Swift hype, help me. Huh? People spam me. I think what people think is if they send so many questions, the same question over and over. Yeah, this is it. That we're gonna pick it. I ignore it. I don't want it. How do I know if my account is clipped? I need my thing, producer. Someone said, how do they know if their account's been clipped? Crystal ball, don't know. I'm sorry, I don't know. Someone's asking for mesh restocks now as well. I actually believe that the Foot Locker question was sincere last week, but you guys asking for Yeezy and mesh, you're taking a biscuit. I'm trying not to swear. SwiftSole desktop drop time. It is coming. It is on the way. Obviously, priority at the moment is to get the app back to doing the business, but it is coming. Don't forget, go inside of the SwiftSole Discord, register your interest. It's not a guaranteed place, but then you may be picked to be one of the first people for desktop. Hype and Swift, I better be one of those guys, you know. Do I have to fill out the form? I don't know. Let me know. I only have one profile. Is that okay? It's fine, Angelina. As long as you're not going for more than one of the same item, fine. You can go for all different items with that profile. That's totally fine. Not a problem. Oh, don't. What is it? I mean, I'm blaming the producer for that one. How does Taco Bell do on... Oh, God. Let's go for some real questions. I know, yeah. I mean, there's more trolling questions than there... I mean, I like it. It keeps me going. Is SwiftSole month? Why is SwiftSole? Oh, monthly on a one-time purchase. Go onto the website. We'll give you all the details there. But basically, it's a one-time purchase. But if you want to go premium, that is a small add-on per month. However, that is paused when Supreme is not in season or when they're not dropping. What will be the benefit of the desktop version? All of that, Josh. Great name, by the way, mate. Beautiful name. But Josh, all of that will come very, very soon. There'll be information on that as soon as it's ready. I can't give you any spoilers because I actually don't know. I want to pretend I know, but I don't know. Yeah, Toady. Toady's my guy. Big up the old boys botting club inside of here. Have I missed what the best item to go for is? Maybe go back to this stream. This stream will stay on the channel. Do not worry. You can go back and relive the magic. Jeez. Treating you guys today. How long after the drop until we switch to restock mode? Don't switch to restock mode, especially in the EU. Just keep it on drop mode. Every time I add my AYCD API key and access token on SwiftSole, it just disappears. Any ideas? I did have some issues with that. If you are getting some big issues, go onto Discord, go into the support first, ask the question, and then open a ticket if needed, and one of the support guys in there will help you out. Do I set up a new task for the AF1 drop, or can I edit the task from last week to drop instead of restock? Yeah, you can do that. You can just edit the task from last week. You can do that. That's fine. What do you think of resale on beanies? Meh. I don't think it's that high. I think there's not much resale across the whole thing. What's your opinion on the Velour, which is the tracksuits, is what they're talking about? Meh. Again, there's nothing really that's hype, but they may have some resale. Is it enough to create the profiles on SwiftSole, or do I also have to create the accounts on Supreme website? Supreme website don't have accounts, Amir. So just do it in SwiftSole. You don't need to create accounts on Supreme. Can I use proxies? No, you don't need proxies. Proxy bypass. What happens if I need to confirm a payment off of SwiftSole? Will it still work? SwiftSole will still kind of work in the background. And this is one of the biggest benefits of Premium, by the way. You've not got long to confirm 3DS and for SwiftSole to be working in the background. You need to be quick. But if you're on Premium, what I can do is I can leave my tasks running and come out of SwiftSole and it will work with background mode. That's probably one of the biggest benefits of premium. And look, I'm not doing that just to plug it. I'm actually saying that is one of the biggest benefits that I find because I've got premium. It's not exactly clear to me when to run restock mode. Just stay on drop mode. Just stay on drop mode. Don't run restock mode. Will there be a desktop Mac version? Again, Mr. Pro Rugby, I can't give you any information on that. Can't give you any leaks. We will give you information as soon as we can and as soon as it's ready. But good question. Who knows? Guys, just get premium if you don't have it. It's like £2 a month. Yeah, I mean, it's nothing. For what you get with it, it's literally nothing. Like, and again, they pause the subscription when the season's over. They pause premium. It's literally. Okay, so we've got How's It Do on Foot Locker, Mesh, Tesco. We've got Yeezy. Do I ever sell on StockX, Yusuf? Yes, I do. Quite a lot. Should I run for AF1s? I reckon you should. Best size for the puffer jacket is always extra large, small. Those two. Large, then medium. You going for this drop? I will be, sir. £2 a month is nothing. Well, it kind of is not much. I mean, if you're a botter and you're quibbling over £2 a month, you're not doing something right there. SwiftSole hoodie drop, not today, unfortunately. SwiftSole are in the lab. They're more focusing on that stuff. Don't worry, I'll see what I can do for next time, but not today, unfortunately. Do I miss in London store? No, I hate London store. If the personal name have to be used, can exist more persons with the same name as you. So, okay, so what someone's saying is the name has to be unique, but there can be an instance where someone has the same name as you. Yes, and the answer to that is tough shit. You will get stopped. So don't listen again. It's not my fault. This is Supreme's logic, not me. All right, don't have a go at me. How many dunks did you cop last week? All of them. If I cop a jacket, can I get? Oh God, I'm done. I'm literally done, guys. You're now just trolling me. You're now just trolling me. 3 more minutes, and then we're gonna go, and we will allow you guys to enjoy either your evening or thing. Do you know how much the puffer is going to cost on Supreme? Michael, if you go into the app, you can actually see all of the retails and resale estimations. Couple more questions. Is Puff a good resale? Again, guys, please go into the app. You've got all of the details there in regards to colors, sizes, resale, retail, or just re-watch this stream if you're smart. That's what you'd do. Simple. I had to email and told my order was rejected. Do not email Supreme. Do not email Supreme. The producer's trolling now, look. It's trolling people. You put up your question. You can't deny it. It's too much fun for a Wednesday. Can't see resale estimation, even though I update app. I assume it's a premium feature. No. Go into Discord. They'll support you there. Josh, for the Velour tracksuits, do you think they will sell out quickly or not? As I'm looking to run... I'm done. Why did I read that out? Adam, leave it to Supreme. They think they've worked out the issues. But again, the confirm button was only on dunks. Who knows what they're going to implement this week? I have no idea what they're going to implement. We're going to have to see. EU, we are the test bunnies. US generally is better. But look, Supreme, I mean, hats off to them, right? They are kind of stopping bots at the minute. With all respect to them, they are. It's frustrating for us, don't get me wrong, but we will be back. Do not worry. Do not worry. Do you think the Nike puff jacket is going to be a good resale on StockX? Nothing is a good resale on StockX as soon as people get in hand. Let me tell you the logic about StockX, right? And look, this has nothing to do with SwiftSole, but all opinions are my own. It does not represent SwiftSole or any of the business behind it. It represents me, Josh Silverman, LuckyBotter, sue me. But let me tell you the logic of StockX and people selling on StockX. They all see an item, selling ongoingly for 500 quid. So I put it for £500 and it shows all the recent sales as 500. There's 10 items as 500. Jonathan, little Jonathan, who's about 15, who hit this puffer jacket, goes, do you know what? I need to get rid of it quick. £10 sounds good as a profit. And they put it on there for £350 and undercut everyone by 150. And then someone else, then his mate comes on and puts it up for 349 quid. And then it's a battle of the pounds. Happens all the time. 11 a.m. on Thursday. Correct. 11 a.m. on Thursday. I'm not answering that question. What is predicted resale on the Supreme? Oh, God. Do I need a virtual card or debit card? Again, go back into this stream and I go through all different cards and explain all of that details there. All right. Let's do one more. Have you managed to successfully cop from Supreme Store in London before? I have, and actually SwiftSole got me the in-store slot. So that's a positive to finish on. Listen, guys, tomorrow I wish you so much luck. Again, Supreme are doing so much in regards to trying to increase their anti-bot measures. Swift and the devs are on it. I know he is. And they're working hard behind the scenes to get this going. They think they found it. But again, we won't know until tomorrow, okay? Every bot is having issues. Like every single one. If you're in the botting world, you know exactly what's going on currently. But again, not the most hyped of weeks. The jacket, maybe the beanies, lunch money, potentially. I'm going for that skate deck just to see what it is. And also go for the AF1s in case they do restock. I would also set tasks for a Friday. Last season, they did drop AF1s on a Friday as well. Listen, guys, thank you so much for allowing me to have your attention. Don't forget to check me out over on the LuckyBotter YouTube, where you'll see me copping and most of the time not copping. I don't know what I do. But also giving a load of different advice, load of different tutorials as well. Catch me every week here for SwiftSole, going live, getting trolled, and answering every stupid question that anyone gives to me. Again, thank you so much for allowing me to have your attention. Have a great evening, great day if you're from the US. And for tomorrow, of course, be lucky.